So good afternoon, Mr. Sawalka. Uh,
Yeah.
Thanks for getting on to this video call for this interview. Could you begin by giving us a brief background on how your company has come to be uh, a specialist in gloves, as I can see, and probably much more which you can explain?
Yeah, we started a safety division in our company. We've always been an engineering company, and we do various engineered products also. But we primarily started a safety division about 10 years ago by selling specialized gloves for the automotive industry. We have a tie-up with Worldwide Safety and Lebon, which is an Indo-French joint venture, and all the products are sold in India under the brand uh, KEL Worldwide Safety. Now, we've been basically selling gloves which are very specialized for automotive engineering, metal engineering, automotive tier 1, tier 2 companies, glass companies, tire and rubber companies. And this is our focus area where we sell gloves which are specialized for cut resistance, heat resistance, for abrasion resistance, and we give very long performance standards, and we give very good conformity to EN standards. Almost all our gloves are certified as per the latest EN norms, which are the ASTM and EN norms, which are lately been upgraded.
And what would be the composition of your domestic sales to exports?
The Indo-French company is an entirely EOU company, and KEL Worldwide Safety takes care of the domestic operations. So I guess we would be contributing to about 20 to 25% of the total turnover for the entire group, you can say.
Towards exports is 20-25%.
No, towards domestic sales is about 20-25%, 70 to 80% is exports.
Okay. So could you tell us how have you been, how your operations have been sort of now hit by this crisis, and where does everything stand in terms
The
of
operations
exports?
in the export division, I wouldn't be the right person to be able to guide you. We have our MD and the chairman of the company for the export division is Mr. Prashant Tulsian, who will be able to guide you. But on the domestic front, we've been seeing the slowdown come in as patches in certain areas, right from, you could say, the first or second week of March, where we saw slowdown coming in at Pune and Maharashtra area specifically. And then we saw slowdown coming in towards Gujarat. We saw slowdown coming in towards the north. And then finally, of course, the south and the east also came down. At the moment, when we went into lockdown on 23rd of March, we still had shipments that were going to our customers because our customers were still demanding products. As you know, March end is the main output for almost all automotive companies. They have to push in the numbers. They also have good demand at that time coming in, with various companies keeping their capital purchase towards the end of the year. So people keep automotive and vehicular purchase towards the end of the year. And this got affected quite strongly. We still have cargo which is lying in trucks and lying at our customers and not being able to go inside the warehouses. We have a lot of stock that we built up for the end of the year, although we were quite cautious already right from February. But yet you have to be geared to supply to your customer when the year end is coming in and there might be a demand surge. So at the moment for us, it is wait and watch. We have to see how and when the government wisely chooses to open up their industrial activities, and we'll be ready for supplying as and when they start operations.
But even now, your production obviously is on a standstill currently, right?
Yes.
So when the lockdown actually opens up, how do you envisage running that operation or bringing it back? Have you planned any phased wise approach or something like that if you have to get into production?
Production will start the day the government allows us to start production. Most of our labor is within locally available. And the second point is, how do we ensure that our customers are going to be fed with material the day they start operations? Because we have various strategic warehouses wherever there are automotive clusters or engineering clusters, and where we have the base of our customers. All our customers are mainly OEMs, and we work on B2B business. We don't really work on distribution channels that strongly. So wherever our customers are there, we have warehouses there which are well stocked with material for the day that customers start operation, and we can start supplying.
And what kind of an inventory do you carry with you in order to, if the shipments were to start, you could sort of service them for a month or two or something like that before your production can start?
We can easily service for up to 2.5 months. It depends on entirely on the offtake of customers. If the customers will they start on a phase wise where they go 30%, 50%, 100%, or will they go all together at 100%? So it depends on that. If they go on a phase wise, then of course we can, with our stock itself, we can sustain longer. But if they go 100%, then I would guess about maybe two months we would be able to service them. But then if we see our customers starting operation, I would suspect that we would also be starting our operations simultaneously.
Uh,
I
none of none of your gear is geared for the PPE as what is utilized as a medical gear for the COVID-19, is it?
We are basically in industrial engineering PPEs, and we are very specialized towards cut resistance and heat resistance, and products that are used to ensure that the hand and sleeves and the arms are saved and protected from any injury while using machines or using sharp objects or moving around sharp uh, surfaces. For example, we have panels in the automotive industry which are almost zero point zero 0.03 mm thick or 0.05 mm thick, or having a sharp corner, or having a bar or welding spatter which can easily injure a worker. So we specialize very much in that area. That being said, we do have disposable products that we supply to the medical and food industry, and but that is not a very large part of our operations. It's a very small part of our operations where we basically service those customers who are already buying industrial protective gear, and they require special either chemical gloves, or they require FDA approved food gloves or medical gloves. We do carry some inventory that we supply to them.
So, given the advent of automation, have you seen a correlation in the demand for your products uh, by the industry? Is there a correlation?
Yeah, there are two or three aspects to automation in our products and the demand for our products. Automation definitely will have an impact on the number of people that are there on the shop floor. Uh, and in direct production activities, you can look at a reduction in number of people that are there on the shop floor. However, we have a lot of products that are used where automation is not possible. What I mean by this is where there's a lot of inspection, where there's a lot of manual work that has to be carried out, certain painting work, certain lubrication work, certain places where welding has to be done manually and cannot be done through automated job. The second point is that in India, industrially, we have a very large base of industries that aren't even using PPEs, let alone certified PPEs. So while automation might come in at the front runners of the industry, and they go ahead and invest in robotics or automation technologies, there's still a huge base of industries that don't use any PPEs, let alone certified. You will see people using cotton gloves right from assembly to welding to painting and everything, without having much knowledge about this, as we don't have any guidelines on an industrial forum. We don't have any legal guidelines that for these operations these are the PPEs that have to be implemented, which is there in Europe, where for any operation you do, there are bodies and legal norms that this particular product, this level of certification has to be on a product for you to use it for this operation. And the third aspect to automation in our product is that on cut level gloves, and we have got now a range of products that work with automation as well. What I mean by this is we've got gloves that you use for hand protection, and you can use the gloves even to access your smartphone as well as your tablet to use a touch screen while you have to carry out automation on the shop floor. Because automation is not does not mean that there's not one person on the shop floor. It's just a reduction of the number of people. However, all the operations are still being monitored by people on the shop floor, and they still need to be protected. So we already are geared up, and we already have product range that allows people to wear your gloves while on the shop floor and still be able to use a control panel on a smart screen or on a tablet or on a phone, and even be able to send out reports without taking off your glove.
For construction and use of construction equipment, do you all have any such solutions as well?
We do have a lot of products for the construction industry, whether you look at welding or whether you look at heavy cement work, brick work. But again, the question over here is, in the construction industry, there's a lot of unorganized labor. There's a lot of contract labor, which is improving in terms of they are using shoes now almost at every construction site. They are using safety helmets, which are usually certified. However, on the gloves end, we don't see so much of offtake. There are very few construction companies who are working with us to ensure that they are using a certified glove or sleeve while they are carrying out construction operations. So unless this is incorporated into the legal framework and industrial labor framework that these products have to be used for these operations, the offtake for gloves and sleeves in the construction industry looks like to be a challenge.
Any plans on expansion? Any plans on expansion once this settles down?
Well, we are already expanding. Expansion plans are anyways there for, you could say, a 3-year or 5-year horizon. So what, of course, we are going through right now is probably just a small blip in the entire expansion horizon. We have 3 plants in Calcutta, and now we've set up a 4th plant in Ahmedabad. In the 4th plant, we are setting up the extra lines for production, and we are the first company to be able to do nitrile dipping in India. There's no other company manufacturing gloves that does nitrile dipping in India.
What is that? Can you explain? What is that?
Nitrile dipping is a coating that you do on the gloves.
Okay.
And mostly in India, there are some companies who are doing polyurethane dipping, but all nitrile dipped gloves are imported within India. And we are the first company to set up nitrile dipping, where there's a coating of nitrile on the palm side of the glove, and gives you very good dexterity, abrasion, as well as being able to allow you to use gloves on oily surfaces without losing surface tension on the product that you use.
All right. Great. Thank you, Mr. Avinash. Thank you for this talk, and wish you safety and health. And thank you for talking to us.